All right. So let's talk about how do we lead generate right now. And this is a big topic. This is something that I've been talking to my agents for the last few weeks, and also the agents outside of my brokerage. And there's always business out there. Even during the 2008, 2009, 2010, right? During that Great Recession, there was still anywhere between 4.5 to 5 million homes sold nationally. And obviously it was down from about 6 million homes in 2006, but still, people have to move. Buyers have to buy and sellers have to sell. What we're seeing right now across the board is obviously the ratifies or under contract deals are down. Pretty much you spoke to any brokerage right now, you speak to any brokerage, I mean, you're probably going to be anywhere between 30 to upwards of 50, 60% down. And that's to be expected. We're not seeing as many listings going live. And we're also seeing a lot of buyers that are kind of sitting on the sidelines. The same goes with the sellers, by the way. So what do we do? How do we generate business right now in the current condition, and also in the next weeks and months to come? So the first one, and this is something that I think you all can do right away, is connect and reconnect with every single client and SOI in your database, in your CRM. If you don't have a CRM, I'm sure you have your phone and your phone book with all the information. But this is the time right now for you to reconnect and connect with every single person in your database. You don't have to be salesy about it. You don't even have to talk about real estate. In fact, I instructed my agents just call and text and basically say, hey, just checking in, wanted to see how you're doing, how's family doing, and please let me know if there's anything that I can do for you or we can do for you. That's the message. You can text that message, you can do a video call, but ideally you want to pick up that phone and call your past clients as well as your sphere. If you haven't been in business for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I'm sure you had buyers that purchased from you. Focus on those buyers, the ones that purchased a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're kind of bought it at the top of the market. There's some uncertainty there. So you definitely want to check on them as well. When you make a call, from my experience, this is something that I do every single day. My goal is to talk to 5 of my past clients every single day to connect with them. I try to bring value to the conversation. A lot of times they're the ones who initiate the conversation about real estate, because they look at you as, as someone that is professional, knows real estate, has the expertise, has the knowledge of what's going on in the marketplace, right? So most of the time, at least from my experience and just talking to my agents, your clients in your sphere will initiate the conversation about real estate. They will ask you how things going with real estate, how's the market, and all of that, right? And you have to be prepared to answer those questions. And I have those questions and answers in the later slides. But when you talk to them, right, be a resource or bring value during the phone conversation. Right now, I'm sure, there are a lot of homeowners that worried about their next mortgage, or their landlords right now, they're worried about their next mortgage as well, if their tenants are going to be paying or not. So forbearance is something that everybody's thinking about and, maybe possibly considering. So any information that you have on forbearance, you probably want to share that with your clients. And it doesn't have to be over the phone. You can also always do a quick research, maybe find a website or two that talks about forbearance and text them or email them that link. Same thing with unemployment. Same thing with small business administration. There are a lot of small business owners, self-employed individuals that can apply for SBA PPP program. Maybe they don't have all the resources. I'm talking about your clients. Send them a link, send them information about that. Market conditions. Market conditions are very important right now. Like I said, most of the clients that I talk to, they're all asking me the same question. Hey, what's going on with the market? How's the market? Right? So maybe doing a quick video or send them information about the market conditions. Lending guidelines. I'm sure you guys been hearing from your loan officers that mortgage companies and banks are kind of adjusting their overlays and their guidelines. A couple of different products out there right now are put on hold, like down payment assistance program and the jumbo loan program, right? So you definitely would like to update your clients about those and get your lender involved. Maybe your lender can do a quick recording and you can share that with your database in your sphere. So as you can see right there, there are like about 4 or 5 topics that you can share or bring as a value during the conversation or when you send them an email or a video. Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, if you exhausted your list, you followed up with every client, and keep in mind, guys, I mean, right now what you're doing is you're just letting people know that you're there for them. You care about them. You're being compassionate. You're being genuine. You're being real. You're not asking them for any business. You're not asking them if they know someone who they can connect you with. This is the time for you right now, guys. Just be you and check on them, right? And you're gonna win some huge points because when things get a little bit more normal, hopefully sooner than later, they will appreciate that more, and they're gonna appreciate it now even. Okay. So opportunities to add some new lead sources during this time. Now, let's say, for example, if you exhausted all of your contacts and you checked with everyone on your list in your database, here are some of the lead sources that our agent's been tackling in the last 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, a lot of them we used to do before, but this is something that kind of works for us right now. For sale by owners will probably need us more right now, and this is something that we've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks. They're more receptive in having conversations with the agents. They're more receptive in paying commissions and meeting with the agents and hearing them out. In fact, I have one agent in a company that in the last week and a half or so, listed 2 houses from for sale by owners. I have another agent that went on a meeting yesterday, the house has been on the market for about 25 days. In the last 20 days, he had not received one showing request. So for sale by owners, will need us more, I believe, in the coming weeks and months to come, and would need our guidance and our expertise as well. So with for sale by owners, what I also like about that lead source, if you will, you don't need to invest money in terms of getting the information. A lot of them you will find on the places like Zillow, forsalebyowner.com, Trulia, even people still use Craigslist. So that's a place where you can find their information. What I also like about for sale by owners is the fact that it's a now business. A lot of them already have their house on the market. And if they're having their house on the market right now, the good chance is they're motivated to sell. In fact, every for sale by owner that my agents have met in the last couple of weeks, they have a true core motivation to sell. The second lead source we have been seeing an uptick in is cancels. Some expires, but a lot of cancels. And most of them are due to the fact that, again, we're in a situation with coronavirus. They just don't want to be showing their house. But this is a perfect opportunity for you to reach out to the cancel listings and find out, what their motivation was, find out what their plans were, and just build a rapport, make a connection with them. Try to assist them, again, by offering, the things that we talked about in the previous slide. Providing value during the conversation. Get their information, get their email address, add them into your database. because these people, once things get normalized, these people are going to put their house on the market. And in some cases, or maybe even possibly many cases, they will be looking for a different approach or a different agent to sell their home. And because a lot of folks are now working from home, or some of them are not working at all, this is an opportunity for you to actually reach them on the phone. They will have a conversation with you. From our experience, we're seeing definitely more conversations with individuals, whether they're for sale by owners, cancels, even online buyer leads. We're definitely seeing an uptick in number of conversations, but less number of conversions. Less people are committing, less people are obviously want to meet at this point, but that's okay. Your goal is to develop a database or a pipeline of ready to sell or ready to buy leads when things get normalized. Geofarming, that's another thing that we are doubling down. And if you have the resources, if you have financial resources to do so, this is the time to do it. A lot of agents right now are cutting back because of all the uncertainty. They're cutting back on their marketing, they're cutting back on their expenses, rightly on the expenses part of it, but they're also cutting down on the marketing piece of it. So if you are farming an area, or if you're planning to farm an area, this is the time to do it. Geofarming with the unique selling propositions right now, we definitely will get you the traction, and will get you some leads in the months and years to come. Distressed homes, as what we're going to see is, we're going to see, obviously, you're going to have the forbearance period for the next 3 to 4 months, where, you know, individuals will not have to pay their mortgage, but as you know, they still have to pay for that mortgage. And whether it's going to be 5 months down the line, they have to pay extra on top of their monthly mortgage, or they have to pay at the end of the mortgage. The point being is the fact that there are going to be individuals that after the forbearance period will not be able to afford their mortgage. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're not making as much money they used to do before. So what we're seeing is, we're going to see an increase of bank-owned properties or pre-foreclosure properties that you want to be focusing on in the next weeks and months to come. Another thing that I believe you will see an uptick would be the absentee landlords selling their investments. We already have seen a lot of Airbnb landlords, if you will, or owners been putting their houses on the market with their furniture, and we're also seeing them putting them for rent, long-term rent. But with the forbearance being not only for the homeowners but also for the tenants, there are tenants out there, and I was reading an article that there are about 25 to 30% of the tenants are not going to be paying their rents for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, right? So what that means is, you're going to have landlords that will start evicting them. And I know the evictions right now are on hold, but 4 months from now, 5 months from now, that may possibly change and will change. So you will have tenants being vacated, and then the absentee landlords will be more probably motivated to put their houses on the market. So you can find a list of absentee landlords. There are title companies that will generate that list. We use a company called A Data Type. David Carroll is the point of contact there. If you guys need that information, just shoot me a email or just, send me a message, and I'll give you his information, where you can actually pick up that list, including their email addresses. And about 40% of them will have 40 to 50% of them will have their cell phone numbers as well. Investors, I think right now, investors are going to be a little more prepared to act. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, I had several investors that I worked with before reached out to me and saying, hey, do you have any deals that we can, buy or put in money into? When, there's a saying, when people get needy, investors get greedy, So investors is another sector of lead sources that you definitely want to be focusing on. Where can you find investors? One of the major associations, if you will, or groups would be Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. To sign up with them, they have 3 different plans. The one that is for the investors, I think, is like around $200 a year. The online version of it is like about $80 a year. It will cost you some money to do so, but you will have access to thousands of investors in the state of Arizona. Another places would be Facebook groups. Join some Facebook groups, investor related. Bigger Pockets, they have a podcast, very popular podcast, and there are a lot of investors there as well. You can join their website or listen to their podcast. Wholesalers, and also if you guys have large CRMs, if you have a lot of contacts in that in our CRM, for example, we have 33,000 contacts, and out of those 33,000, I think we have about 500 or so, or 400 investors that we label them as investors. So if there's a deal coming up that is investor grade that needs a lot of work, that priced below market value, we will promote and advertise to them. So these are kind of like five lead sources in addition to your sphere and your past clients that you should definitely concentrate on.